Alright guys, today we're going to take you to another San Diego landmark, Mission Trails Park. It's absolutely beautiful. It sits up in the hills and the mountains. You can see them behind me. There are tons of trails to do. You can hike, you can run, you can mountain bike. Lots to do here, so let's begin and let's check out Mission Trails Park in San Diego, California. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the rules, because if you've never been here before, the county is extremely strict with rules. So, first thing you need to know is there have been a lot of break-ins here lately. Just be mindful, don't leave anything valuable in your car. Things you also need to be aware of is there's no smoking in here. You are allowed to bring dogs with you, but they need to be leashed at all times. They do expect you. Pack out your trash. Don't leave trash on the trails, please. Make sure that all you leave is just footprints. Also, no alcohol and no glasses allowed in the park, so bring your water bottles that are reusable. Now let's go over as well. You're not allowed to also fly drones here. Anything that is remote controlled, you're not allowed to use in the park. One of the things you also need to be aware of is this is San Diego, and a lot of people think San Diego is just the beaches. It's not. It's a mountain and a desert area, so you need to be aware of rattlesnakes. Pay attention to where you're walking. Try to stay in the middle if you can. Don't go right on the sides where the brush is, or walk through unmarked trails, because you will probably actually venture into rattlesnakes, so be very aware of that. Another thing you need to be aware of is mountain lions and bobcats are here. So what you want to do is never ever hike here by yourself. You want to at least have two people. Mountain lions, I'm actually going to turn you around really quick so that we can go over the paperwork that they have here that tells the difference between mountain lions and bobcats, so that you can see it and know the difference, and then also know what to do. Okay, so the one on the top is a mountain lion, the one on the bottom is a bobcat. Now, one of the biggest differences between bobcats and mountain lions are bobcats average about 2.5 feet from their nose to the tip of the tail, whereas mountain lions will average 6 to 8 feet from the tip of their nose to their tail. Males can actually get up to, they average between 120 and 180 pounds. Females average between 80 and 100 pounds. So, what you want to do, don't hike alone. Keep children close to you. Also, you want to make sure that if you do encounter a mountain lion, whatever you do, don't run. It actually will cause their instincts. They're cats. They're going to chase you, and trust me, they're going to win. Do not run. So what you're going to do is you just stand your ground, make yourself look bigger. You can slowly move your arms up. You want to be loud, but you do not want to turn around and run. And you want to lock eyes with them and make sure that they know that you are there. You need to establish that you're the alpha. So again, whatever you do, I know the first thing, a lot of people who are not familiar with this kind of habitat, familiar with, you know, these types of animals, hiking around them, they're going to get freaked out and they're going to start running. Don't do that. So when you come into the park, make sure that you go over everything that they have to go over. Just be aware, be informed, and then go ahead and start your hike and enjoy the beauty that San Diego has to offer. So let's go check out the trails. Now, I am going to put a link in the description so that you have a Google Maps. You can park on the street, and then it also has the parking lot here. It's pretty decent size. So if you come during the week and it's not, you know, fall starts to get much more busy because the temperatures are beginning to drop and it's not so hot. You know, it is a desert area, so temps here will get into triple digits, and when it's that hot, the trails can be rather difficult to do if you're not used to the heat. So you also want to make sure that you bring tons of water. If you need to bring snacks, bring snacks. You know, a lot of people, you can get a hiking backpack and bring the things that you need in, because you can be out here for several hours or you can make a short trip. It's, you know, dependent upon your skill level and what you're able to do. You exit the parking lot. Now, this is one of several trail points that you can access. There's one up here, the other side of the mountains, and then there's one along the 52. So we're taking the trail today that's a little bit more flat. It's a little bit easier to hike, and you can go quite a bit longer and get a good workout without having all of the crazy mountainside hills. Now, there's not going to be parking the whole way down on the street, so it's only for a short clip that you're actually going to be sharing the road with cars, and you really need to pay attention and make sure, you know, Obviously these days a lot of drivers don't pay attention, so just be aware of the fact that you are sharing the road in the beginning with cars. And the vegetation is thick, so like I said, do not go off on areas where the trails are not clearly marked, because you're going to be going into Wildlife Central. Now down below over there is the campground here as well. They're taking photos. Yeah, so a lot of people also too, they trip out because they truly don't think of San Diego as being a desert. So seeing like cactus and all of the desert habitat trips people out. But yes, San Diego, it is a desert mixed in with the mountains. Now the gates also, they lock at 7 p.m. They don't open until 8 a.m. So be aware of that as well. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but this lady right up here, you can see her, she's right up here. So they've got all of these trails, you can go up the mountains as well. And then there's some straight ahead over by where the power lines are, and you'll see the trails as you go, and then they'll have entrance points too, so that you know what is accessible and what is not. But it is extremely beautiful in this area. Even with, you know, the desert landscape, it has a beauty all its own. It's different, yes, compared to, you know, the lush tropical that we have in Florida, but man, I still love my mountains and my trails. So they also have poop bags for your puppies all throughout, so please make sure that you pick up your dog's duty. Yeah, we can take this one down. Morning.
You guys are prepared.
We are.
Big guns.
You narrate a hike?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It helps people who don't know the area.
Yeah.
Look at the moss all over the water. There's like no movement at all. That's a trip. That is such a trip. Usually that like has a little current that flows, but it's just, unless it's just dirt and there's no water now. Morning.
Morning. Good morning. Oh, that's pretty dead in there.
That is one thing that we've noticed. The drought here has been so bad that everything is just bone dry. So hopefully with the Santa Ana season this season, there's not going to be any crazy fires, because let me tell you, San Diego can go up in flames very quickly. We were here for the 03 fires, and that was one of the craziest things we've ever seen. During 03, when we had the Santa Anas, I mean, it was just, a lot of the county was on fire, and it was jumping over the 15, which is a whole lot of lanes. Our area, my sister's area in RB, there was a lot of houses that were lost, a lot of homes that just went through the county. And I think at that point, I believe we were without power for a little over a week, but it was so thick outside with smoke, and so much of the county was on fire. It was like this red-orange glow. It was just crazy. So hopefully that's not the case this year, because it's much more dry now than what it was. You can hear birds rustling in the background. Let me turn you around because that's really pretty. Now we found some water. Not very much, but still beautiful. You can hear the animals in the brush when you're on the trail. Tons of birds. And then this is the terrain. So a lot of it is either going to be dirt or it's going to be a mix of, you know, dirt with rocks. Good morning. Okay, so straight ahead of us, that is the 52. That goes all the way from the coast in La Jolla into East County. And let me tell you, it was so nice when they added it. So we're on one of the bottom trails that takes you through that little area. And then it's just going up the side of the mountain. Now typically we would stay on the actual street to get to the other trails, but we're gonna check this one out this time. It's not too bad. It's about 85 today. We do have our water, so we're gonna go ahead and check out one of the open trails that's not covered by trees, and I don't know, maybe we'll get to see some wildlife. This is another really good point that they make. Carry more water than you think you will need. You know, cannot tell you how quick it is to actually get dehydrated here. Now, this is also about the rattlesnakes in the area. And again, you know, as long as you're observing and you pay attention, because they will blend in with areas like this. They'll blend in over in, you know, the brush right there and the leaves. So you really do need to pay attention because they will be out this time of year. And then all of these will give you, so it'll say like 15K. You'll have the markers everywhere, so you know how far it is to get to where you want to get to. But spectacular view, let me tell you. It's beautiful. Okay, so we also need to warn you that this area used to be Camp Elliott, so you want to be aware as well if you see any of the shells. Some of them can still be able to be detonated, so what it asks you to do is recognize, retreat, report. So, you know, be sure that you truly, I know a lot of people don't want to read all the information, but man, it is so important to actually know, you know, what is going on in the parks that you're hiking in. And then another thing I want to go over that was not on another one is trail courtesy. So bikes need to yield to pedestrians or hikers. Hikers need to yield to horses, and bikers need to yield to horses, because you will see people out here with horses. So, you know, just know how the flow goes. Don't be one of those obnoxious hikers that everybody just gets driven crazy by. So we're gonna come up this way now and check out this area. So this is a 1.2 mile loop. It's called Grasslands Loop South. You can hear all the birds in those trees. Now, I don't know what all of these boxed areas are. I'm wondering if maybe those are spots that were found to have explosives, and maybe they're marked off. Not sure. That would be my guess, though. Good morning. And then this area on the loop that I just said, it's going to be dirt. So if you stay to the sides, it's packed a little bit more. If you've got bad ankles, I'd say, you know, stay on the side that's packed down. This is definitely something we really miss, you know, being in Florida now. Not having the mountains, not having the areas to hike. It's just not the same when it's just flat terrain. It's still beautiful, it's different, but we do really miss the hills and the mountains. I don't know, it's just a totally different hiking experience. How dry. Oh, so sad. Now, another thing I am going to mention too is if you're not used to trails in an area, stay on one. Come back and then go do another one. Don't start going off on the sides, because if you do, it is so easy to get lost if you are in the mountains or you're in a hill area. And then back over here, you can see all of the mountains as well. You can see Laguna from here in Pine Valley. Okay, this is cool. They've added benches so that you can look down and see. That's gorgeous. So one of the things too that I want to mention is if you're from the south and you're used to humidity, it's very, very dry in the west. It's extremely dry, so you will go through water because your sinuses are dry, your throat is dry, everything is dry, your skin is dry. That's another reason why you want to make sure that you have plenty to drink when you're hiking out here, because it takes a toll on you completely differently than when you're hiking in the south. You know, everybody knows who watches the channel. They've been with us for a while. We left San Diego 6 years ago. We're in Florida. It's completely different. We can go for a really long time because you don't have your throat on fire and everything else. So just make sure, again, have plenty of fluids, and then it's going to be a breeze. You'll be fine. Let's get back to the hike. The view from this seat is pretty beautiful. Now in this area too, I want to just tell you, be careful because there are rocks that are a little jagged, so just watch your step. That's one of the things in a lot of the trails in San Diego actually that you need to really be aware of, is it can go from sand to crushed rocks, and then all of a sudden you'll have big ones like this. So if you're not looking down at the ground, you could hit it, you know, and just end up going face first, which is not fun. Let me tell you, it's happened before to me. It's not a pleasant experience. Now right through these trees over here, you'll see we kind of run parallel. This is the street right here. That's where the other trail where we were, where the cars were parking, this runs parallel to where we're at right now. There. And then right down here, if you were to keep going straight, see, you can see these trails going up along the mountain. Those will take you to a different area. So that is one thing I really love about Mission Trails, is it never gets old. There's tons and tons and tons of trails to do here. So you never get bored when you come here, because each time you come, you can take a different trail. And as you're, you know, getting more used to doing hiking and your legs are getting stronger and your breathing is getting better, you can do the ones that the elevation is higher. They're more difficult trails, but you just never run out of options at Mission Trails, and that's a really nice thing. We're at the old Mission Dam Overlook. It's just crazy how still the water is. It's like no flow at all. It's so stagnant. That is water I definitely would not get into. But what a view. Alright guys, we hope you enjoyed the Mission Trails hiking. There's plenty of other trails here to do. Again, we'll have the link in the description below, so the next time you're in San Diego, if you're planning a trip to San Diego, or if you live in San Diego and you've never been here, you need to check out Mission Trails. We will see you on the flip side.
That's right, we'll see you on the flip side.
Until then guys, get outside and make some memories. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.